say, I think we're live. So we will give everybody a moment to join. So just make sure that you're in the shot. Hey. Okay, so welcome to Wirral Code Club. We're going to be doing a live code along for Scratch Dodgeball, which is a Module 2 project, so we're starting to get slightly more complicated now. So the idea is if you join in for the first time, we're going to be working through a Raspberry Pi Scratch project, working through the instructions, and if you try and follow along, so ideally, if you have the video running on one device, like your telly or a phone or a tablet, and then you're working through the project on your computer. So somebody did ask a question if they could use an iPad for the project, and Scratch does seem to work in Safari on an iPad. Unfortunately, the keyboard doesn't work, so we're not going to be able to do today's project on an iPad, but we will look for an iPad project for the upcoming weeks. So we're going to need two things. We're going to need the Raspberry Pi project website. So we just go to Google and type in Raspberry Pi projects, and that should be the first one that comes up. And we're going to need Scratch. So that is scratch.mit.edu, or if you've got to get that from Google, if we just type Scratch, that should be the first thing that comes up. So ideally you won't need to be looking at the project because we're going to be going through, but you know, if you do, you just be aware of where the project lives, and that's on the Raspberry Pi project's website. And if you click on Code Club at the top and Module 2 under Scratch on the left hand side, and it's the no, we don't want to do that. It's the second one down, and the Raspberry Pi Foundation have put all these projects together, broken them down step by step so that we can work through them. They're all accessible via the Raspberry Pi project's website, so when you finish the code along, you know, if there's other projects on there that you want to work through, they're all accessible, as is Scratch. If you haven't already registered an account for Scratch, if you want to go and grab your parent or your guardian and get them to set you one up now, they just need to register it with a username, a password, so we'll give you a few moments to do that. My name is John and this is Ben. I'm a volunteer at Wallasey Central Library. There's volunteers that run code clubs at West Kirby, and there has been code clubs at Birkenhead in the past, so obviously they're suspended at the moment. Hopefully it won't be too long until we get back doing the sessions in the libraries. Okay, so hopefully everybody's got an account set up now. The good thing with registering an account is if anything goes wrong with your internet connection, it automatically saves the project as you're going along, so you're not going to lose anything. And then obviously you can finish the session, come back the following week, and just carry on from where you left off. So if anybody's got any questions, if you've got access to YouTube chats, just put them in there and we'll try and answer them as we go along. So if you've got Scratch open, I think we're going to be looking for a link in the project, so I'll tell you what that is in a moment. So as always, when we look at the introduction, it shows us what the finished project's going to look like. So Dodgeball is a game, so we click on the green flag and we're using the arrow keys left and right, and I think, is it the spacebar? Yeah, the spacebar to jump, and there's gravity, and can we move up the ladders, the green ladders? I'm stuck. And then there's obviously the balls which we need to
have to jump over.
Yeah, we need to jump over them. Do you want to go, Ben? So everybody can see what the finished project looks like.
What the heck happened there?
We did practice this. We got halfway through practice and putting the project together in the week, so we definitely know how the first part works. Hopefully we'll get our way through the second part as well. Oh. Alright. Should we get on with it?
Yeah.
Okay, so if anybody needs to come back to this later, you can actually print the project out in the top left using the little printer as well, so maybe that's something you want to do later. Alright, so what will you need? So it's the same every week, isn't it? We'll need a computer, we'll need to be able to run Scratch. Alright, what will you learn? How to use the keyboard to control the sprite, how to use the if then else Scratch block, and how to clone a sprite.
Could I just say something?
You can say something, go on.
It doesn't actually matter if the game doesn't actually matter.
Okay, so
he was saying
what Ben's responding to is William in the comments is saying that he couldn't get up the ladder. Don't worry about it. Come back and have a play with it later, and as we go through and do the coding, hopefully it'll.
And you can play your own version as well.
Yeah. All right. So it says open the Dodgeball Scratch starter project. So we need to. There's a link here, rpf.io/dodgeball-on. So if we click on that, and it should open up the project as saved by the Raspberry Pi guys. So we've got the background loaded in. Okay, so we're going to click on Remix. Okay, one of the things we could probably do is I'm just going to post this link in the comments as well. There you go, so if anybody needs it, the link's posted in the comments. Alright, so just to confirm, we've clicked on the link, the project loaded, and then we've clicked on Remix. So this means that it's now at the point where we can start editing it. Alright, so the project contains a backdrop with the platforms in, so we've seen that. And it says, choose a new sprite as the character the player will control and add it to your project. It's best if you choose a sprite with multiple costumes so that you can make it look as though it's walking. So we'll talk about what costumes are in a moment. Ben, do you want to go ahead and choose a sprite? Okay, so he's choosing the sprite icon in the bottom right, which looks like a cat. The sprite library opens, and we're going to click on, I think it's Fantasy.
It might
Alright,
be...
so if you click on Giga, or maybe Pico walking at the bottom.
Pico walking.
Yeah. So what it means by costumes is that the sprite has multiple. We can just click on the costumes, Ben. It's got multiple images associated to it. So if we look down on the left-hand side, we can see that the sprite Pico walking has 4 costumes associated to it, which means that we can animate it. We can make it look as though it's walking. Alright, so Ben's loaded that in, and it's automatically added it to the stage.
You might need to shrink it.
We're going to need to make it smaller, aren't we? So we just move it to the bottom left, and underneath the stage is it's got the size option, so we can see that the sprite is selected and the size is set to 100. What size do you think you need to set it to, Ben?
We'll try 50.
Okay, so he types 50 in and presses enter.
That's...
And that looks fine, doesn't it?
Yeah.
All right. So, so we've added it in, and as you're working through the project, we've got the ticks.
I think you accidentally tick that.
I had a little sneaky look at it the other night so that I knew how the project worked. So, all right, so add code blocks to your character sprite so that the player can use the arrow keys to move the character around. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be coding the sprite so that we can use the left and right arrows, and when we press them, the sprite will walk left and right. The character should point right, when the player presses the right arrow, the character should point right, move a few steps, and change to the next costume. So it's telling us the code blocks to put in. So the first thing that we're going to be adding is an event. And the event tells the program what to look for, when to start the code block. So on this occasion, we're going to be using a when green flag clicked. So you want to add that in, Ben? So just clicking on the block, moving it into the center window is where we build the code. All right, we can see, just go back, Ben. Right, if we look in the bottom right, we can see that the Pico walking sprite is selected. So we know that that's what we're adding the code to. All right, go back to the project. Yeah, so we're going to add a forever loop in, and then an if-then statement. So go to control, add a forever loop in, and then an if-then, and nest that inside the forever loop. Okay, and then we're going to add a sensing block in, which is key, right arrow pressed, then. Is it sensing? Yeah, there you go. All right, and then just drag that over and drop it in. Yeah. So right arrow, yeah. And then what's the next thing that we need? Point direction 90, move 3 steps, next costume. So motion.
Point direction 90. And then
move 3 steps, which is the top one, and it's set to 10, but we'll change that to 3. So click in, delete what's in there, and change it to 3. All right, and then it was change costume, so that will be yeah, that's it. Click on the looks on the left hand side.
Switch costume to Pico Wall.
Is that correct? Is that the right block? Just go back and look at the project again. Next costume.
Next costume.
There you go. So because it's in a forever loop, as we're pressing the right key, it's just constantly moving it on.
Any more to that?
I don't think so. So what you can do, if you just click on the block. All right.
There.
So as you're pressing the right key,
but then we can't move it back.
That's because we haven't added the code in.
Yeah.
So the only thing that we can do at this point is use the right key. So let's go back and look at the project. All right, so we'll put a tick in because we've done that. Okay, so it says if your sprite doesn't fit, adjust the size. So we've already done that. Let's just recover what we did just in case. So we've clicked on the sprite.
They did 30, but...
And it was set to 100. So we've just clicked in the size. Yeah, should we set it to 30?
Yeah,
Always
that's
tiny.
way smaller.
Alright, let's set it back to 50. So we're just clicking into size, typing a number, and then pressing enter.
If you have any problems with the code, then just
write a comment
yep.
into the YouTube chat and we'll try our best to answer. Alright, so test out your character by clicking on the flag and then holding the right key. So it looks like we're slightly ahead of this, aren't we? We've already done these bits, not to worry. Hopefully you guys have done it too and it's working for you. Alright, so now add code blocks to the character sprite forever loop so that it walks left. So it says if you want to, we can click on I need a hint, but we're not going to do that. Let's just click back to scratch, Ben. Alright, so can you just right click on if? Yeah, right click. Alright, so whenever Ben's having trouble using the touchpad on the laptop, whenever you press a button, you press it at the bottom. So we're right clicking on the if block and we're doing duplicate. So rather than going in and pressing all those, moving all them blocks across again, we've just duplicated that element. So just to go over that again, we've right clicked on the if and we've done duplicate and then we've just moved it down. So we need to set it so that he's walking left. So if we click on left arrow, and so he's going to be
pointing in the other direction.
Okay. So do you want to click on that and then little dial should come up? Yeah.
And then
So we can either type the value in or we can just move
it helps a lot
the dial around. So now it's minus 90. All right, and then if we want to we need to nest the if block under the existing if block in the forever loop. So now if you click left,
then it goes left,
and
it walks on the ceiling.
He's upside down, but we're gonna address that in a moment, so don't worry about that. All right, so let's just see what it would have said. It said, so that your character can move to the left, you're going to need to add an if block inside the forever loop, which is what we've done. Add code to your character sprite to move left. All right. So what you'll notice with these hints is it starts off giving you the least amount of information, and the idea is that as you get better,
it builds up.
You know, you will be able to build these blocks without the hints. But if you need it to give you more detailed information, you can click across to the right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is exactly how ours looked.
I think we had code in a minute to make it so that it doesn't turn upside down.
Yeah, that's the one we will. All right, so test your new code to make sure that it works. Does your character turn upside down
when walking left?
Yeah, and he does. If so, you can fix this by clicking on the direction of your character sprite and then clicking the turn left right arrow. Alright, so that is here. So we've selected the sprite and then we click on the direction just there next to size.
Left, right.
Do we not do that?
But then he's walking backwards.
Let's have a look. Oh, he is. I've not fixed it.
It would be left, right there.
It's just there, isn't it? Yeah, that's the one. So, left, right.
There.
So now we go back to there.
So then it flips.
Okay, so we clicked on direction and we chose this little left-right toggle here, which fixes the problem of the character being upside down when it's moving. And now the code blocks work correctly. We press the left arrow, moves left. We press the right arrow, they move right. Okay, so I think we've done this now, haven't we? It says, or if you prefer, you can also fix the problem by adding a code block in. Set rotation style left, right. That's the other way to do it. Okay, To climb a pink ladder, your character should move a few steps upwards on the stage whenever the up arrow is pressed and the character is touching the correct colour. Okay. Add inside your character's forever loop to change the character's Y vertical
position.
Alright, so do you remember we were talking about X and Y coordinates last week, weren't we? So, just in case there's anybody new on the session who wasn't here last week,
we looked at them last week.
Okay, so a lot of times in Scratch you'll see reference to X and Y coordinates. So X and Y, so if you think of a cross in the middle of the screen, and so the one going across the middle is X, the one going up and down is Y, and if you think of where they intersect as being 0, so X is 0 and Y is 0. As we move to the right on X, that's plus 10. As we move to the left, that's minus 10. And the same on the Y-axis as well. As we move down, it's minus 10. As we move up, it's plus 10. So if we were up in the very top right-hand corner of this image, we're plus 10 on the Y and plus 10 on the X. So it's a way of plotting where your sprite is on an X and Y axis.
It would be when you do coordinates, it wouldn't be plus 10 on the Y and the Z. It would be 10 slash 10 in brackets.
Okay, because you've been doing maths.
Yes.
Okay.
It's because I did coordinates.
So, add inside your character's forever loop. Change the character's Y vertical position if the up arrow is pressed and the character's touching the pink. So, it shows us the block. So, if key up arrow pressed and touching colour pink, then change Y by 4. So, do you want to add another if statement in?
Control if then.
Yeah. So you're going to need to add an operator in. So go on, drop it in. No, drop it in.
Okay.
Drop it in. No, yeah.
No. I know I nested it
There you
inside the if.
That's fine. Okay. So go to green, which is operators, and do and. It's the very top one.
Oh, yes.
Is it, I don't think it's going to work, is it? Because that's looking for values, isn't it? Right, go back.
Oh,
Go back. We're
yeah.
looking at the shape so we can see. Sorry, I said it. So it's there, isn't it? No, that's right. We're looking at an operator, and so I told you the wrong one, didn't I? And drop it into if. Yeah.
I just need to get rid of that.
Okay, so it's if the up key pressed, isn't it? So go to motion. We need a motion block.
Which one?
Move. Sorry, key. Up arrow pressed.
Wait, don't we have to do that first though? Touching colour.
No, you can add the key in.
So I forgot already.
It's actually it's not moving, is it? It's sensing. Go to sensing.
Sensing.
Yeah.
And then would it be
key? Yeah, that's it. Okay.
And where does
So drop it in. If first one, yeah, no.
Oh.
Come here.
And then that goes inside.
Yeah. So we're going to change that to up arrow, and then we'll do touching colour. All right. What colour are we changing it to, Ben?
Pink.
Sit down, mate.
So you would want to touch that.
And choose the colour picker at the bottom.
Sample. And then. And then would the next what be in relation?
Have a look and see what it says. So it change Y by 4. Yeah. Okay.
Where's the change X?
Move down slightly. Yeah. Change Y. There you go. There it is.
Change Y by
4. Excellent. So now, if you
try that.
If you walk him along, and when he gets to the ladder, you need to press. Yeah, that's it. All right. So he now walks, and he can climb the ladders. Excellent. All right. What's next?
So we did that.
All right. So it says test your code, which is what we've done, and it does work. So, challenge, completing the level. Can you add more code blocks to your character sprite to make the sprite say something if it gets to the green
I think
column?
I know how to do this.
All right. So we're going to add another if statement.
Could I do it all?
I'm just aware that we've only got an hour, so you want to do
yeah.
the next one? It'll be. Do you want to just if you want to tell me and I'll do it? Go on, what do you think we need to add in?
So I think it would be in sensing now,
Yeah.
and it would be touching colour.
Yeah.
And then it would be the green colour.
Yeah.
And then it would be say, and then whatever he was saying.
Was it something like
Smiley face?
yes?
No, it wasn't.
Smiley face?
No, it wasn't.
You want him to do a smiley face?
He was good. Yeah.
All right. So.
Wait, what? Why on mine is it not live anymore? I went to the start. It's because you went to the start. It would be the end. Because...
William, are you still seeing any of the code blocks on your screen that you've already added in? Or are you saying that the project started from scratch?
It says it's not live though. So it might be the video.
Oh, maybe, does he mean the video?
I think it might be the video.
All right.
He went to the start.
Okay, if he's gone to the start of the video, then he's
Yeah.
not saying what we're saying
Yeah.
anyway. He's going to need to figure it out himself. All right, so let's go back to this anyway. So he's moving around and he hits... Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So, excellent. He'll figure it out. He'll catch up with us. All right, so we've done it so that we've added this block in. If touching green, then say smiley face for 2
he's
seconds.
Stuck at the beginning.
William, do you mean that you're stuck at the beginning of the project or at the beginning of the video?
Well, if it was
sit
at
down,
the
matey.
beginning of the video, then he wouldn't be able to hear us.
All right, so I've had a text from Chris, and Chris is saying that everything's still live. William, if you don't mind, can you just grab a parent, grab your mummy or your daddy or a guardian, and just get them to have a quick look at it with you? It's difficult for us to understand what you're experiencing,
Because
so...
we can't see his
Exactly.
computer, obviously.
All right. So, gravity and jumping. So, now you're going to make the character move more realistically. Just pay attention to the screen, matey. You're going to add gravity to your game and give the character the ability to jump. So, in the game, move the character so that it walks off a platform. Do you see that it can walk into empty space? So Can he walk? He's kind of stuck there, isn't he? Here we go. So we're moving to the left. And if this was real life, he's going to fall. Oh, he didn't fall off the end, did he? Because it's not realistic. We haven't added gravity yet.
Yes.
All right. So.
Oh, I got my knee stuck.
To fix this, add gravity to your game. To do this, create a new variable called gravity. All right. So we're going to go left-hand side. We're going to variables. And we're doing make a variable, and we've called it gravity. All right, so for all sprites, I think that's fine. But we don't want it to appear as a timer or a number counter on the screen, so we're just going to take the tick out of gravity on the left-hand side.
It says it worked.
Cool. It sounds like William's back on track then. Good stuff. So. Add these new code blocks that set gravity to a negative number and use the value of gravity to repeatedly change your character's y coordinate. So it's telling us the blocks. So we're going to add an event. We'll just move the code screen over slightly to make some space. So when green flag clicked, and we're adding a block from the variables in. So set gravity to, and we're going to put a value in of -4. So we've gone to variables and we've chosen set gravity to. We've dragged it across and we've set it to a minus value of 4. So then we're going to add a forever loop in. Change y by gravity. So control, forever loop, motion. Here we go, just scroll down slightly so we can see all the blocks. And we're doing change y.
We might have to go a bit, we might have to pick up on this one next week because we've only got half an hour.
Well, let's see how we go. I think we're doing okay.
Yeah.
All right. So at the moment it says change y by 10. But what we want to do is we want to pull in the value of gravity, which is set to -4. So we're going to go to variables, and we're going to grab the gravity variable, and we're dropping it in here. So change y by gravity. And the value of gravity is set up here, which is -4. All right, so what does it say now? We'll put a tick in there. All right.
Click the flag and then drag your character to the top of the stage. What happens?
Okay.
Does the gravity work?
So what do you think?
Expect?
What do you think's going to happen when we click?
I don't know.
Oh, oh, where's he going? So he's walking. He's off the screen.
I think we might need to do.
All right. So I think that's working. It's doing exactly what it wants to, because we've created gravity. The problem is that when he gets to the bottom of the platform,
do if, and then blue, if touching blue.
Yeah. Stop.
Then stop.
All right. So gravity shouldn't move the character sprite through a platform or a ladder. Add an if block to your code to only let the gravity work when the character is in midair. The gravity code should then look like this.
Yeah.
All right. So we're adding an if
not
statement in.
Touching colour blue or touching colour pink, then change.
All right. So we're gonna add an if statement in here, aren't we? So we're gonna go control, and is it this if then? So if then. All right. Can we just drop that in? Yeah, we drop it in.
Wait, if then change y by gravity.
Mhm. If then.
Oh yes,
yeah.
yes. I don't know what that was.
All right. So we're gonna add an operator in. So operator not. And then we're going to add another operator in. We're going to add an OR. So the operators are very much like things in maths, aren't they? So and, if, greater than, less than, equals. So we're adding an OR in, aren't we? So OR, and then we're going to add sensing, yeah.
So then touching colour.
Yeah. Touching colour.
And then do
so the first
picker.
one is going to the bottom and selecting the colour picker. And then we can
blue.
click on things on stage.
Isn't it blue?
Oh, I think it is.
Yeah, it's blue first.
Blue. And then what's the other one? Pink. So
then you need
to add another one in. Yeah, another touching colour.
And colour picker.
Colour picker. It's a good job you're here.
And pink.
Pink. Excellent. Put a tick in. So now, can we drag him back up onto the stage? So if we go
then you can drop him.
Play, and he's running along. This is the right arrow. We can do left, and we get to the ladder.
And we go.
It's because we've added.
Oh, he's touching colour pink. Change Y by gravity.
Test the game again to see whether gravity works correctly now. Does your character's sprite stop falling, and when it touches a platform or ladder, can you make the character walk off the edge of a platform and fall to the level below? So if we drag him up here, now when he walks off, he falls all the way to the bottom. Alright. Now add code to make your character jump whenever the player presses the space key. So, when space key pressed, repeat 10, change Y by 4. So, we're going to do...
That was quick. I only said we have half an hour left, like 5 minutes ago. Exactly 5 minutes ago.
Do you not think time is working correctly? So we're adding an event in. When space key pressed, control, repeat 10 times. We're going to do motion. And then, do you remember what it was? Change.
No, I don't remember.
Y. Change Y by 10. Awesome.
No, by 4.
By 4. Okay. Because gravity is constantly pushing your character down by 4 pixels, you need to choose a number greater than 4 in your change Y by 4 block. Change the number until you're happy with the height that the character jumps.
What is happening to this chair?
It's just a bit rickety, isn't it, matey? Don't worry about it. Try not to make too much noise with it, though. Alright, so... now when we press jump, he's not falling down.
Do we have to add the gravity one?
The gravity one's already done though. Not to worry. Don't worry, Ben. Don't worry.
Might
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
It is working. It was just taking time. All right. So we'll set it to 6. 6. All right. So he's walking along.
And he falls.
He falls. There you go. And we can walk up the ladder.
That works now.
And we can jump. When we're pressing space, we can see that block at the bottom's highlighting, and he's jumping. All right, so put a tick in there. Okay, so it says test your code. Notice that the jumping movement isn't very smooth. To make jumping look smoother, you need to move your character sprite by smaller and smaller amounts until it's not rising any further. To do this, create a new variable called jump height. So we go to variables on the left hand side. Are you alright, mate? You look like you're in pain.
I have an itch.
Sit up. Alright, maybe you want to stand up and have a stretch. Alright, make a variable. Jump height. Does it allow us to have a space in a variable? Scratch does allow us to have a space in a variable. To do this, create a new variable called jump height again. You can hide the variable if you prefer. So we're going to take the tick out, which hides the variable off the screen. Delete the jumping code you added to your character sprite and add this code instead. Goodness me.
Why?
Alright, so where's the jumping code? Where's the jumping code? It's over here, isn't it? No?
Is that the jumping
Oh,
code?
it's the space, isn't it? Yeah. Is it this one? Should we put it in the backpack? We'll put it in the back. So one of the things that you can do, if you've not seen this, you've got the backpack at the bottom and you can drag your code blocks into the backpack and that makes them so that they're reusable. Alright, so we'll if you want to get rid of your code block, we're literally just going to grab the code block and drag it across to the left. So now it's gone, it's not on there. So when space key pressed, so event, when space key pressed, come on, what's the next bit?
Set jump height to 8.
Where do we find that? Where are we going to find that?
In variables.
Variables. So we're setting a value for the variable. So set, and it's
jump height.
Defaulted to the gravity variable. We're going to change it to jump height. So we're setting it to 8. Ben, stop moving.
Okay.
When space key clicked, set jump height to 8. And then we're doing repeat until jump height 0. So operator, control
type variable.
Repeat until,
and then
operator equals yeah,
equals is that.
there, cool. And then we're putting
0.
in
Jump height
equals
and then
0.
0.
Change y by jump height. So motion change y by, we're bringing the variable in, jump height. Change jump height by,
that'll be in variables.
Yeah, there you go. Change and again,
height,
it's defaulting to the first one, but we change it to jump height. We're going to change it from 1 to 0.5. So let's just quickly go through, read what the instructions were, make sure that ours are right. So when space key pressed, set jump height to 8. When space key pressed, set jump height to 8.
Repeat until jump height equals 0.
Yeah.
Yep. Change y by jump height. Yeah.
Yeah.
And change jump height by 0.5.
Yeah. Excellent. All right.
So then, are we going test that.
Let's see what it says. This code moves your character up by 8 pixels and then 0.75 pixels, then 7 pixels and so on, until it does not rise any further. This makes jumping look much smoother. Alright, so let's just see. So if we go play.
And test that.
Oh. Something's not quite right there, is it?
I mean,
Stop.
That's one of the projects, so, and it is right.
Alright, so let's have a look. Change the value of the jump height variable that is set before the repeat starts and then test your game. Repeat these 2 steps until you're happy with how high your character jumps. So change the value of the jump height variable that is set before the repeat. So
I think it would be that one.
it's here, isn't it? We're setting the value of the variable jump height. Let's set it to 2 and see what happens.
No.
Oh dear, what's happening? Is this code block correct?
It is, because we've checked.
Alright. Let's set it to 0.5.
I don't think it'll work. Nope.
Oh. Very well, this Chris has sent us a text. Your character is too big. He's catching his head on the blue level above.
Oh.
It might just have been lag. Remember, it's minus 0.5. Ah, there you go. Minus 0.5.
So that would be the first
so
one.
We forgot to put the
Second
minus.
One, yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Chris. You've saved the day. Oh my goodness. And that's why it's good to have people to ask. So when we're in the library and there's a few volunteers in there, quite often I'll ask other people how to do things and they'll ask me. And
but then there's no gravity.
Right, we'll figure it out. So where's gravity?
Didn't he say it was too big though?
Where's gravity? Should we set it so
it
that
might
it's smaller?
still be catching it.
Alright, 30.
Yeah.
Where's gravity? So gravity to
minus 4.
Forever. Change y by gravity. I'll set it back up to... Chris, do you know why the gravity's not working? Oh, it is, look.
Oh. Maybe that's a bit too...
Alright, let's set the jump height to... 8.
Yeah.
Okay, I do not know what was going on then. Alright, so now gravity's working. And the jump's working quite nicely as well. Alright.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Thank you, Chris. Let's look at what the next one is.
Tick.
Put a tick in the box. Okay, so change the value of the jump height variable. So start test. Okay, so we've done this as well. Repeat these 2 steps until you're happy with how the character jumps. Excellent. Challenge. Improved jumping. Even if the character is already in mid-air, it jumps whenever the player presses the spacebar. You can see the behaviour if you hold down the spacebar. Can you change the character's sprite code for jumping so that the character can only jump if it touches the blue platform? So, So if touching blue, can you change the character's sprite code for jumping so that the character can only jump if it touches the blue platform? So at the moment, we can jump. It seems to be doing that, doesn't it? What that was saying is that he should still be able to jump if he's in midair, but I'm pressing this. It doesn't matter how many times I press it, he can't do a multi-jump.
I think it's because the other codes are activated.
Okay.
So then, because that's when flag clicked.
All right.
That's not when flag clicked.
All right. Well, I don't know if we've inadvertently done the challenge or if there's something wrong with our code, but to me, it seems to be working.
Automatically activate that.
Let's move on to the balls anyway. So, your character can move and jump now. So it's time you add some balls that the character has to avoid. Create a new.
Balls, right?
Yeah. So we're gonna
choose any type of ball you like.
Okay, so we're gonna go in and we're choosing the sprite library in the bottom right, and we're choosing. We've only got a few minutes left, mate. So sports. So we're gonna add in a basketball, and we're gonna add in a baseball, and we're gonna add in
a ball.
A beach ball. Excellent. Tick.
Resize the ball sprite so that the character can jump over it. Try making the character jump over the balls to test whether the ball is
so
the right size.
That's too big?
Yeah.
Alright, I think they're all a little bit too big, aren't they? So we're going to go through and we'll just set them all to
50.
75.
Okay.
50? We'll set them to 50? Alright. So we're selecting the sprite at the bottom and we're changing the size to 50. Pressing enter. Click on the basketball.
50 is...
Go to size, change it to 50 and press enter. So maybe that needs to be a little bit bigger. 70 maybe? Yeah, that looks okay. And the basketball, set that to 60. There you go.
That's not a basketball, that's baseball.
Baseball. Alright. So, add this code to your ball sprite. Go on, do you want to do that? Yeah, so when clicked, hide. Is that right?
Event.
Yeah.
And flag clicked.
Yeah.
And hide.
Yeah, so looks. It's a looks block. Scroll down. Yeah, hide. Add a hide block in. Alright. Then we're going to add a forever loop in. Go on. So control. Forever. Yeah. And then we're going to add wait 3 seconds.
Wait.
Yeah. Yeah, click in. Change that to 3. Yeah. And then we want to add create clone of myself.
So would that be in control?
It looked like it was a control block. Just scroll down and see. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go. Drop that in. Alright. So then we've got another one, haven't we? So scroll.
When I start as a clone.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's
when
the
I
one
start
there.
as a clone.
Yeah. Go to, and then we're setting up the X and Y. We're setting the start position of the sprite. So go to X and Y.
Motion.
Yeah, it's that one, yeah. Yeah. And then it was 160, 160, yeah? Do you want me to zoom in slightly?
Yeah. It's a bit. After.
Yeah.
I don't know where the mouse is.
Yeah, 160. So click in. 160. And then 160. Alright. Then show. So that's a looks block.
I did scroll on the wrong thing. So
you carry on moving using the mouse, man.
Repeat.
Yeah. Repeat 22.
Scrolling on the wrong thing. Repeat.
22. Yeah. And then
change Y by
-4.
Motion.
Scroll down.
Change Y by
-4.
-4.
Yeah.
Wait, enter.
Alright, so
Repeat
and then you add another repeat block in. Yeah, so just move that slightly. Go on.
Control.
Yeah, repeat. Remember what it was?
70.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And then change X.
By
So again, that's a motion block.
motion.
Change X. Scroll down.
It's harder to use.
There it is. There it is.
What? Change X by.
Remember what it was?
No.
-2. And then we add 10 left by 6 degrees. So is that up here? Here it is. Yeah, there it is.
Ooh, where am I? Turn left by
6 degrees.
6 degrees.
Yeah. Alright, so then we're doing another repeat block. So repeat 30. Control. Repeat. Change Y by -4.
And then motion. Oh wait, no, let's change X. Change Y by change Y.
No, you've
Oh,
yeah, come on,
put it in the other repeat box. I need to stop doing that. Change Y by -4.
Yeah. Do you know what it's doing, Ben? Do you understand what you're getting it to do now?
Yes.
What is it you're getting it to do?
So you're getting it to start and then
Where's it starting?
Rolls down.
So where do you know where it's starting?
It's starting X 160 Y.
So it's starting in the top right, isn't it?
Yes.
160 by 160 is the top right, and it's saying show the sprite.
So it'll say where the mouse is. So.
All right. I mean, if you click play now, what happens?
It used to say where the mouse is. Well.
There you go. So.
It drops.
So it's moving it along the platform, isn't it?
Would you duplicate those blocks now? The other balls.
It's not. Why isn't it moving right? This delete this clone. Why isn't it moving right? All right, let's see. So there's another block in which says
delete this clone.
Delete this clone.
Delete this
Delete
clone.
this clone.
That ball is really annoying.
So that's right, isn't it? And then it drops.
And then delete.
But now, it's to me, I think that that's supposed to go right, isn't it? Okay, let's read the next bit. Did we miss anything out? So we've got how many repeat? We've got 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Okay,
3.
maybe we're just getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
The code creates a new clone of the sprite ball every
ones.
3 seconds. Each new clone moves along the top of the platform and then drops.
So William's gone.
Click the flag. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
We're running over an hour, aren't we? Click the flag to test the game. Alright. Add more code to your ball sprites so that the clone of it moves across the 3 platforms. Alright, so...
Yeah.
And that's what we were saying, wasn't it? It's stopping here. So if we were to add more repeat blocks in, it would be able to then move along this platform and then drop And it's just a case of adding these in. So we need to think, how many repeats do we need to go all the way back here? And it's probably going to be 170, isn't it? Which axis do we need to change? So we're probably going to change the x-axis, and we're probably going to change it from a minus value to a plus value. So instead of being -2, it would be +2. And then instead of rolling -6 degrees or 6 degrees to the left, we would set it so that it rolled 6 degrees to the right. All right. If we wanted, we can get it to give us a hint. And yeah, I think we're right, aren't we? So we were saying we would be looking at
180.
Yeah. All right. So
you.
All right. Just aware of how much time we've got, Ben. We're over an hour now. Okay.
We
so
might have to carry it on
now add some
into
code
the-
blocks to broadcast a send message if your character gets hit by the ball. All right. What we're going to do, guys, is we've reached this section here. We would need to add some more repeat blocks in order to get the ball
We could
rolling
actually
all. Just
send
wait
the
there,
link
Ben.
for
Wait
the-
there. Let us talk, mate. So we're going to stop here because we're up to an hour. But what we're going to leave you guys to do is to see if you can work your way through the rest of the project. So we're up to the point where we need to add some more repeat blocks in order to get the ball reaching all the way down to the bottom. Now, the next part is you need to add the code in to broadcast a message and kill the sprite when it gets hit by a ball. So we're going to set you guys the challenge to complete this project at home. What we'll do is on Friday night, we will post a pre-recorded video that shows the final steps on how to finish the project. So hopefully you'll all get there on your own. But if you do need any help, look out for the video that we post on Friday night that completes the project. So hopefully you guys have had fun. This one's taken a little bit longer than normal, but hopefully we've gotten you halfway through. Have a go at finishing the project on your own. And as I say, we'll
Can I say something?
post a video on Friday night.
Can I
You can say something, Ben. Go on.
We will give you a link to the project that we were on in case you didn't have it up on your screen.
Yep. We will put the project in the comments, and we're on page 5. All right. So, all right. We'll post that video on Friday. And we'll be doing another live code along next week. If anybody's got any photos or wants to share their project links, get your mum or dad to post them on Facebook, Twitter, social media. All right, everybody have a great week.
Bye.